Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. So today we are going to be doing two looks with the new Blend Bunny Cosmetics Machina palette. I'm very excited to be playing with this. Obviously, I love Blend Bunny. They are one of my favorite indie brands. If you are not new here, this is not news to you. If you are new here, maybe it's news to you. I love Blend Bunny. I'm going to start off with some close-ups, some swatches, some info about the palette, a little bit of comparisons as well, and then I will get to look one, look two, and at the end I will give you my initial thoughts. This is not a review. I have to continue using this palette more than twice to give you my final thoughts. It will show up. I don't know if this will make it to the end of the year palette ranking or the beginning of next year, but it will end up in a palette ranking in the future where I will give you my final thoughts. And if you enjoy this while you are watching it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. So this collection is Blend Bunny's quote holiday palette. This is not holiday themed, obviously, but it is their last release for the end of the year. As far as I know, I'm assuming so. This is what the cover looks like. It is absolutely beautiful. And I do love that the cover artist is credited on the back. And then on the inside, we have this gorgeous, really fun, bright color story. Of course, Blend Bunny is known for their colorful palettes, and this is another colorful palette that they've added to their lineup. I really love the selection of colors in here. Some of these, like these red shades, swatched so beautifully. I want them on my eyes for sure. Let me give you a little bit of information about the palette while I pop up close-ups and swatches. So this is the Machina palette. Basically, I'm going to summarize what is on their Instagram. It's a concept developed over a short period of time with her father. Being a huge reader and sci-fi lover, my dad brought the idea of a sci-fi technology type theme. Maggie, the owner of Blend Bunny's father, has since passed away, so I'm sure this collection means a lot to her. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't see a launch date on their Instagram, but I do believe I read at some point that it is going to be launching on Friday, December 1st. If I have exact information about timing and all that, I will put it on the screen as well as in the description box down below. I did receive this in PR from the brand, and something that is so exciting and is very, very cool to me is they have given me a code. I don't think it's affiliated. I'm not 100% sure, but the code is Rachel, and it does save you 10% off your purchase on this launch or anything else that they offer on their website. So thank you so much in advance. If you do use my code, it means a lot to me. And it means a lot that Blend Bunny did give me a code. It's really exciting because I do love them as a brand. So let me quickly go through some kind of comparisons just by looking at palettes side by side. I will link down below Deandra Nicole, who is on Instagram. If you don't follow her on Instagram, you definitely should. She does a lot of beautiful swatches and really beautiful reels with palettes. And she did do an entire swatch comparisons on her arms with every single column in this palette matched up with other shades from Blend Bunny's other palettes that seemed similar. So if you really want to get the nitty gritty of comparisons, I will link her post in the description box as well as her account in the description box, and you can get a closer look if you are concerned about maybe buying doubles or whatever. But I just pulled out 3 Blend Bunny palettes from my collection that seemed somewhat similar. I mean, I don't feel like this is exactly a dupe of anything else they've done. The number one that I think has been compared to is Primal, which has since been discontinued. And I do feel like maybe this is the closest, but with this being discontinued, it kind of makes sense that this could be similar. I mean, it's kind of filling somewhat of a gap. I will say I think that the new Machina palette has a little bit more grungier tones mixed in there, and the Primal palette is much more tropical feeling to me. So those are the comparison of those two. And of course, the Primal palette has the large black and white pans on the bottom. I also think the shimmers in this new palette are very different. The ones in the Primal are much deeper. The next one I pulled out is Surge. Surge does have grungy tones, but also has a lot of neons. There's an entire row of neons on the bottom. So I do feel like that's different, but these are also kind of giving the same vibes. I don't think they're exact dupes, but I just wanted to hold them up next to each other so you can make your own call on that. And then the last one I picked out was Blends, which of course, Blends has no shimmers, and The new one does have shimmers, so right off the bat, they're not going to be exactly the same. Blends also has a lot more shades in it, but Blends is more of an encapsulating rainbow palette with everything. It doesn't really have a lot of yellow, like true yellow tones, and neither does the Machina, but just wanted to hold these up together as well. I think the layout of this is interesting because she is sticking to those columns with the gradients like she usually does. She has been kind of mixing up her layouts, which I think is fun, but she has swapped the shimmers. They're not all on the same row now. So there's a shimmer here, a shimmer there, a shimmer here, a shimmer there, etc. So they're kind of at the top and the bottom, but still we have that corresponding monochromatic column, which a lot of people seem to enjoy. I like the columns. I also like when she mixes it up. Like, it doesn't make me angry like it made some people angry. I think that's all I have to say. I would love to hear your thoughts on what you think about this palette. Are you going to pick it up? Are you going to skip on it? Are you just watching this video for entertainment? I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments. Please let me know. All right, let's get to look number 1 now. I really want to play with these grungy greens. I mean, they're really, really stunningly beautiful. I'm actually really excited to have these. So let's do it. Let's just do it. I'm going for it. I have already primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I'm going to go in with the shade. I'm going to absolutely butcher the names of these shades. So be nice to me in the comments. Diode. This one up here. It's like a grungy greenish yellow. I'm going to pick it up on a fluffy brush and I'm just going to press it into the crease. That is absolutely beautiful. I mean, Blend Bunny mattes they just never disappoint. They never let me down. They always exceed my expectations. They are just the perfect mattes. Next, I'm gonna go in with the shade Digital. Right here. Digital, digital, get down. I don't know why that came to my head. Digital, digital, get down. And I'm gonna place this just a little bit lower in the crease. Pretty effortless, as expected. Now I'm gonna go in with the deepest green shade called Machine. Right here, this olive green, and just place that in my outer corner. I'm gonna go in with just a tiny little bit of the matte black called Shutdown here, and just put this on the very outer corner. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. I mean, minimal amount of blending. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna put the NYX glitter primer all over my lid. I wanna go in with the shade Sci-Fi. It did swatch more like a topper shade. Let's see what it looks like. It kind of reminds me of the shimmers in the Surge palette where they're not like ultra creamy. Very pretty though. It does have a shift, like looking down in my mirror, it looks like greenish blue, but in the pan, it's yellow. I have something going on with this eyelid. I have some kind of reaction story in my life, so if it looks kind of funky on this eyelid, it's my eyelid. It's pretty. It definitely has more of like a translucent base. Like I said, it is a little more of a toppery type shade, but it does look really pretty. So let me go off camera. I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup. I will come back and we will finish the lower lash line together. Okay, I have a vision for this look. Let's hope it pans out, okay? This is what I'm thinking. I want to go in with the black matte called Shutdown on a tiny itty bitty little angled brush from BK Beauty. I'm going to line my lower lash line and wing it out a little bit on this side. And just to be sure I don't get a ton of fallout, I'm going to spray the brush. Like that. Can I match the other side? That's the question. I think it's close enough. I'm next gonna go in with Machine, that olive green, and blend it out. I'm gonna go in with Digital and blend that out. And then with a tiny little bit of diode, the lightest matte, and blend that out. And I'm gonna go back in with the black on that angled brush and just redefine it a little bit. I'm gonna go into the Unearthly Cosmetics Not in the Mood Water Activated Liner Palette, and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this like lime green and a little bit, well, let me start with the lime green first. I was gonna mix it with the white, but these water activated liners definitely show up lighter than they look in the pan. I'm gonna actually spray my brush. I don't like to spray the pan. And then I'm gonna work the brush in, and I'm basically gonna draw a line in between the two black lines. Can I do this on camera? We are gonna find out. Ooh, that's cool. Oh, I like that. They're not really even, but it's okay. I was hoping for a little bit more of a yellow, but actually I think that looks really cool. And then in my waterline, I'm gonna go in with About Face Line Artist pencil in the shade Electric Slide. These are not my favorite pencils, but it's the closest I've got to this color. All right, so this is the first finished look. What do you think? I absolutely love it. I love the greens. I do love this lip that I paired with it. This is from the Unearthly Cosmetics Halloween collection. I will of course link everything that is on my face in both looks down below in the description box. And I love it. I mean, how do I feel so far? I think the mattes are the same good quality mattes that I expect from the brand. I don't really have anything else to say about that. The shimmer that I use is definitely more of a topper. It's not as like wet and slick feeling. It is a little bit softer of a feel. It kind of reminds me of some of the shimmers in the Surge palette, but it looks really pretty. It looks really pretty on the lid. I think this look is really pretty. So now I'm gonna send you off to look number 2. All right, we're gonna do a second look with the Machina palette. I'm really wanting to play with this column. I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm first gonna go in with this like really pretty peachy shade called Error Code. I've already primed my eyes and I'm just gonna place this through my crease. All right, next I'm gonna go in with this beautiful red shade called Burn. It's like a neon red and it's swatched magnificently. So I'm just gonna place this a little lower in the crease. I'm gonna go in with the deepest red shade in that column called Human and place that in the outer corner. And I am gonna use that matte black again, shut down, just to deepen up the outer corner a little bit. So after swatching a lot of these shimmer shades, they really are honestly so beautiful. A lot of very different formulas. So the two up here are duochromes. And I'm gonna use the one called Conduct or Conduct, depending on the context, I guess, on my lid. And it is a duochrome that goes from pink to like a gold, like a white gold. Oh, it's so beautiful. The shade switch up here is a really, really pretty, just like icy white with like a yellow undertone. And then this one, Cyborg, is a iridescent multichrome. It is so, so beautiful. So I really like the different varieties of shimmers in here. Like I said, a couple of them feel a little on the softer side, but they look really beautiful. I've already put the NYX glitter primer on my lid and I am gonna go in with the shade Conduct. Really beautiful. That one feels really creamy to the touch, kind of like the newer Blend Bunny shimmers that I've experienced lately in the past handful of palettes. Really beautiful. Okay, I am back. Let's finish up the lower lash line together. I definitely think that these colors read a little more pink on the eyes. What do you think? For sure. I'm not crazy about putting like reddish tones on my lower lash line, so I actually think I'm gonna play with the purples for my lower lash line today. I'm gonna take a small angled brush. I'm gonna go into the shade Emote, the deepest purple, and I am going to push this up against my lower lash line. I'm gonna take a pencil brush and I'm gonna go into the shade Glitch next and blend that out. And then I think I am gonna pull in Error Code, that lightest, very first matte shade that we used, and just blend that out. This shade Cyborg down here, I'm not gonna use it, but I keep catching it in my eye line. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna be able to capture it on camera, but it is just honestly so beautiful looking. Like, it is so brightly beaming. It is gorgeous. But anyway, for my inner corner, I want to play with this shade called Switch. It's definitely a sparkly metallic, so I am going to spray the brush. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. All right, and this is the second finished look. What do you think? I think it came out really, really pretty. Like I said, I feel like the reds did show up a little more on the pink side, but I like pink too, so. And the shimmer on the lid is super, super pretty. Really, really pretty. All right, so let me give you just my initial thoughts on this palette. Like I said, this is not a review. I have to continue using this, especially all these different shimmers, before I give you my final thoughts. I do really like the variety of shimmers in here. There is that more standard metallic that's extra sparkly. We do have a couple of duochromes, and then this iridescent multichrome I'm so excited to try on my eyes. It looks so beautiful. So beautiful. So I really appreciate that. There are couple different kinds of shimmers in here. Kind of already gave you my thoughts on the color story. I do like that there are grungy tones, and I like that there is a matte white and a matte black. I always love when Blend Money puts those in their palettes because it just makes it one less step that I have to reach into another palette, because especially with Blend Bunny, I love their matte white and their matte black. And if they're in the palette, I'm pretty much gonna use it. Yesterday for my look, the first look that I did, I combined the white with this matte shade for my inner corner. So I always love layering their matte white over a shade to make an inner corner highlight out of it. Really love that. And then of course I used the black in both looks to deepen up my look, and I will continue to reach for that black matte quite often. So I really like these tones. I am looking forward to trying these more dusty blues with this multichrome. So really excited to have this. I think overall the matte quality seems the same as the usual good matte quality, and the shimmers, like I said, there are a few different formulas in here, so I'm very excited to have this in my collection. So now, of course, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts after seeing me use the palette and other creators use the palette? What are your thoughts on the palette? I would love to know. And remember, if you are interested in picking this up on the day of launch, you can use my code Rachel to save 10% off. Thank you so much in advance if you do decide to use my code. If you don't want to use my code, that's okay, but try to use a code so that you can get some money off. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly, and I'd love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.